two parts of the mission of the organization. One is the land management side, which takes up a majority of our work. We do that well. We have an educational side to our mission as well. And that part, we realize as that grows, that program grows, that'll be the public face of the organization. That's what the public's going to identify the San Diego Habitat Conservancy with, are those educational programs. And then we can introduce them probably later to the other work that we do.
Well, a lot of folks aren't aware that San Diego County is one of the most diverse areas for endangered species habitat, and the Conservancy just wants to not just manage and protect that, but also to let folks know, as all the surrounding residents, that this land is here and these types of animals and plants are right under their nose.
The San Diego Habitat Conservancy is tasked with a very complex duty, a complex task to not only conserve habitats, but also manage them in perpetuity.
The Conservancy manages some of the important habitat preserves in San Diego County, and they make sure that the habitat areas are maintained properly, that restoration occurs in areas where habitats have been degraded, and really just makes sure that the public also enjoys and respects these important open space areas.
So when I went and got my environmental management degree after retiring from the Marines, it gave me a whole different viewpoint of how we should really try to preserve what little lands we have for the native birds and the plant species that thrive on and make up their habitat. And to me, it's been a blast just learning all the different areas, how multi-climate just San Diego itself is, everywhere from the area you see behind us of being, the waterway wetlands, all the riparian and some of the dry areas that we have out in East County.
We are not only a coastal community, we also extend to fairly high elevations of nearly a mile up in the Julian area. So we have both mountainous habitats here, we have coastal zone habitats, and then we extend even further into the dry desert. So the complexity of the terrain and habitat types here in the county is quite unique.
One of the biggest challenges we face at the Conservancy, and costliest task, is the removal of invasive plant species. These species aren't native to our county or Southern California typically. Things like arundo and eucalyptus and fennel and pampas grass that we see in a lot of our preserves. So these are detrimental to these preserves because they displace native plant species, and things like birds won't nest in certain species, or insect life itself too. Willow trees are very important for butterflies and insects, and when they're gone, so is the insect diversity that starts the food chain for us. Not only do invasive plant species take a toll on our native plant and wildlife species, but they cost us a lot of money. So we go out, we patrol our preserves, we have to find them, flag them, have them removed, and these species are so aggressive that it takes multiple treatments and cuttings to remove them and eradicate them from a preserve.
One of my major goals as the executive director is to bring new projects to the organization, bring new preserves under our fold, manage them well, make sure the habitat values are actually increased over time, and that we continue to grow. I feel like a proud parent that says, I love all my kids equally, but for different reasons. So they're all unique, and some of them are surprises, ones that I didn't really expect to be surprised by or excited about, and as time has gone on, finding new things on site, new species, new challenges. Each one's a little different.
Eureka Springs is my favorite preserve, and the reason why is because it's diverse. The public can access the preserve. There's a beautiful trail that was constructed with interpretive signage, and of course, it's great for the population to learn about our native environment and how to conserve our native environments.
I think that over time we're trying to look at ways that we can
expand our audience to include not just the people that live nearby our preserves, but other people in the community and in the region who are interested in our habitat conservation programs in general, and can then understand the connection between the work that we do in individual preserves and how that connects with some of our regional efforts to protect important habitats. I think it's really important for our stakeholders, the community, the people that make decisions about development in the region, to understand the importance of habitat conservation as part of our region's way of looking at our future. And by having people get a better understanding about how the preserves in their own backyard are part of a larger system of conservation and environmental protection, I think it makes them more supportive of doing the things that it takes to make sure that those areas are properly managed and preserved for posterity.
Being able to reach out to San Diegans, reach out to people and help them understand how important it is to conserve our environment, and to not only conserve them for conservation's sake, but also to provide open space and natural areas for children to grow up in and to grow up with this whole idea that nature matters.
We're one of the most biodiverse places on the planet. I like to tell people that if they're interested in conservation, you don't have to go anywhere exotic, you don't have to go to the rainforest, you don't have to go to South America, you don't have to go to Australia. You can truly practice great conservation right here in your backyard.